What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 20 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded King Louen campaign. So as we saw last time, we had many a battle, 4 in a single episode, with the hardest one being Adelard versus one of the Barrow Legion armies. He did manage to pull it off, though he did take enough damage that he couldn't fight again, and had to wait and heal up, and even then has not healed up to full. Carrick Ziplin has fallen to Heinrich Kemler, and by the looks of it, we are in range, so perhaps this episode will echo the last, and the most difficult battle will be against Kemler. And in fact, I did want to test something while we were at it. I talked about this last episode, but I want to see this. The something, main of the pure breed. Charge bonus plus 25% for Cav, and 12% for Cav weapon strength. So, currently, our Knights of the Realm are at 50-80. When we put this on, alright, we put that on, and they're still at 50-80. Will they still be at 50-80 once we enter the actual battle? That's gonna be the question, and that'll determine as to whether this item works. And hopefully we can actually put it on a non-hero, or a non-lord, ideally maybe even the damsel or something else. But anyway, we're gonna do that in a second. Did I give you a student, new paladin? Ah, yes, also we did reach the threshold once again of the 200 likes and 30 comments, so as promised, this episode will also be an hour long. We also have Lashik to attack. Yes, so Rapunzel, let's head you down here. And can you actually reach this? Yes, you can. Beautiful. You go down here, and Marie-Le Chasseur and Deline are both gonna follow you in a second, since we have declared war on these guys. Pyrrhic victory with 2 units heavily damaged or dead. But with the addition of this little army, that may not be the case anymore, which would be swell. Move on in there, Marie. And how many more levels you got? Okay, you have plenty levels to go, so quite a bit. And you as well. And you have a Terrifying Mask of V, which you should get rid of so that we can turn it into a useful item. Alright, like so. Now, are you able to auto-resolve this garbage little defensive? No. What? Is it me, or were they losing 2 units to the auto-resolve before instead of 3? How did it rise? She giggle. But, huh. Okay, maybe I'm crazy, maybe that wasn't actually the case. But anyway, I guess we're gonna have to fight that. What about you, Fey Enchantress? Would you be able to fight at the Sorcerer's Islands? And we'll level them both up before they fight, of course. We need to take the Followers of Nagash out real quick. A Scarbrand is coming for us, and we need to be able to get our armies up there to counteract him. And no, we're gonna have to fight this as well. Alright, well, that's not a bad thing. It's just that I was expecting one of these little smaller garrisons to be auto-resolvable. Well. We need to apply our Valor before we fight. And I can't remember if there's any free... Okay, we could give Valor to these guys, if we're keeping the Knights Errant and the Questing Knights. And they're probably all just going to get Indomitable. Especially the Knights Errant, as they're the most likely to actually get heavily damaged enough to make good use of this. And, oh, damn, why does it keep doing that? Alright, Indomitable for you, and I guess we got one more Indomitable in us. And one left over here, if I can remember it. I hope I did all of the ones with Alberic as well. Yes, I did. Alright, fantastic. Alrighty, well, let's begin. 50-80, was it? Wait. 55-98. It does work. Ah, wait. Oh, we have to move something in order for it to change. Okay, wait. What I want to see is this. If we give you the main as a... I'm about to move somebody. Okay, fine. I want to see if this works on a hero rather than a lord, and because that would be swell as well. I also have a bunch of items that we'll probably need to transform into stuff, but we can do that later. Let's move somebody somewhere, and let's see if it's still at 50-80. You, Yasmina, you're headed down to transfer all of these things to the Fey Enchantress. Once you move, we should be good. And I guess we can move you at the same time, Maravek. I forgot about you last episode. What is this? Felcargo. Felcargo doesn't have a battle, I think. I'm about to find out. Mysterious Island definitely doesn't have a battle. I think Remnants of Battle... Okay, yeah, Phil Cargo's the one. Good. Captain's Chill. Well, this army's not going to fight. Wax Sealed Rations doesn't really give us anything, but free a little bit of cash. And then move right here. We'll grab this Mysterious Island and then continue on our merry way to transfer units here, as Rapunzel will certainly need the armor piercing of those questing knights. Alrighty, let's see if this has changed in any way. They're back down to 50-80. Okay, which means that this item only works, despite the fact that it says Lord's Army, only works when the Lord uses it directly. Well, I guess we can use it for the Lord for this battle. Probably gonna have to give it to Louen, though, at the cost of him not having the Potion of Toughness, which will be a little bit more unfortunate. But, well, what can you do? Where's that Potion of Toughness? You? And Adelard, you can have the main, and just for that little bit of extra damage on all these units. Alrighty, and I think we have no additional ancillaries from last time. I'm very concerned about Kemler and Krell and whatnot, as well I should be. Here we go. Let's see if we can pull this off. Now, the army itself, I would say, is a little bit weaker than the last army we fought, minus the fact that it has Kemler and that it has Krell and the presence of the Black Coach and the Blood Knights. They don't have the Vargulf or those 2 units of Hex Wraiths or those 2 units of Terrorgeists, but they have all these bonus units from Ziflin, and they have all of the... and they have all of these other extras. And Krell, of course, is just going to have to be ignored because there's really no way we're going to kill him. Anyway, now let's see if we can pull this off. Valiant defeat. Here we go again, Adelard. Alrighty, here we go. Can we pull it off a second time with Adelard? Certainly we have some more things that are threatening without the Terrorgeist, sure, but well, we do have a legendary lord and a legendary hero to contend with. Though I suppose we also have Henri, who will hopefully be able to knock some of them down. Anyway, just like last battle, we're going to start it off with the mounted yeomen, who are going to try to focus down any enemies that they can reach. I don't actually care so much about the Graveguard at this current time, but rather it would be better to target the enemy aerial units, which is why Henri and Adelard are both going to try to move towards these bats and the Vargeists. Alright, and speaking of, here come... Ooh, did he just knock out 3 out of the sky with a single attack? Not too bad. Not too bad, but, well, that's a lot of bats. It's a little bit slow. Alright, 5 that time. Oh man, completely surrounded now. Good luck, Henri, but he should be able to deal with bats with decent ease. It's kind of a cool shot, though. Alrighty, and on the bright side, the ground units do seem to be moving away. And if they move just a little bit more, we'll be able to have the mounted yeoman target the bats as well. And yes, we can get a few shots into the bats. Vargeists have arrived, and Adelard will be facing off against them. It actually should be the other way around, so we're going to send Henri to help out with the damn Vargeists, as obviously Adelard is a lot less tanky than Henry is. And let's see, well, it looks like one of the bat units is in very bat shape, and the Vargeists are still fine, and the rest of the enemy army is annoyed enough to start moving forward. On the bright side, though, they have not yet charged forward against our light cab or skirmisher cab, so these guys will continue getting those free hits onto all those bats who are dropping out of the sky. As we can see, Adelard is down to about 2/3 of his HP. Henri is completely fine, and all the bats here, at least, are gone, and I'm sure the Vargeists are about to follow. In the meantime, the enemy army is drawing closer and will soon be in range of our trebuchets. It's actually kind of a neat-looking battle. I rarely get these battles that are just on the ice like this, but it's essentially a wide-open field, and the ice offers, well, if we had guns, the ice would offer the ability to fire really easily, as it didn't have annoying hills. But nonetheless, I think this will be, at least to some degree, to our advantage and allow our trebuchets to land some good hits. So it's definitely going to be at least partially up to the Castle Crashers and the Crushinator to dish out damage to the enemy infantry. Still, we continue establishing air superiority just like in Lewin's army. And besides, it's a lot of enemy aerial units that make up this army. Well, a lot of the army, rather, is made up of aerial units, so it's very good to try to delete them. And we're certainly making headway there, as this unit of bats will soon be done for, and it looks like the Vargeists will be done for as well. Looks like more Vargeists did try to go after our unit of Skirmisher Cav, our mounted yeomen, but we sent Adelard in to intercept them. And yeah, it looks like the Black Coach and some Care Knights, everybody's going after our mounted yeoman now, just getting them the heck out of there in a big blob, while Henri moves to try to help Adelard out, or at least allow Adelard to escape while taking the aggro from the enemy Vargeists. Alright, Black Coach given chase, and ooh, annoying a bit of annoyance as the mounted yeomen get distracted. One of the units gets caught and then it forces the rest of the unit to come back. I hope that if we ever get an engine update for Total War Games or Total Warhammer as well, but Total War Games in general, that they stop that massive annoyance. A unit really shouldn't re-engage like that, especially a skirmisher/range unit. Anyway, the enemy slow main army continues to approach and are now taking hits from our trebuchets. Watch a few of those rocks collide at least. And, oh, I don't know what the heck happened to the camera there, but I guess it more or less missed the Graveguard anyway, and there we go. Finally getting some decent action on the Trebs. I also really like the lighting on this map. It's dark, but it is also quite nicely visible. So trebuchets continue attacking the enemy on the approach, and we will continue knocking enemy air units out of the sky. Oh, and it looks like the Blood Knights have decided to join the fray, or such as it is, and are now going after one of the units of mounted yeomen. Fortunately, it is the Wardens of Montfort, which are poisoning the Blood Knights and putting them down to only 60 speed, preventing them from actually catching up. We've done essentially the same thing earlier to the Black Coach, which is now down to about 10% HP. And a few more volleys should bring it down. In fact, it is crumbling away. And down it goes. Oh man, I really get to see the Cairnwraith coachman on top of it die, so it's kind of interesting to see. Anyway, now it's time to go after the Blood Knights. It's going to take a long time to damage them heavily, but we still have ammunition on these guys, though I would like a little bit more ammunition on the poison-firing Wardens of Montfort. And hopefully we can just distract these guys long enough for Adelard and for Henri to come in. Well, let's continue annoying the enemy and forcing them to give chase and waste their time. In the meantime, the enemy army, the main army, has finally arrived. Several of the units are now damaged by the trebuchets. Here come ghouls and crypt horrors. Oh, I like that the AI is forcing these two units to fight together. I can appreciate that, as I would have done the same myself. Alright, very nice, and then the Graveguard bring up the rear as well. The Skeleton Warriors, of course, will have no chance against the Defenders of the Realm, but it looks like the Vampires just, damn, they're just kicking them out of her way. Alright, well, the Vampire is going to be an issue, and so is Corel. Louen had a lot of trouble with him back before Louen had any points in his fighty tree. Now, of course, I imagine that Louen wouldn't have any trouble dealing with him. Well, this army is certainly still stuck with that issue. In the meantime, it looks like the poor Blood Knights have still been unable to catch all of our mounted yeomen, and here comes Henri to hopefully distract them. They haven't lost a unit as yet, lot, but it looks like they're near to half HP and they'll start losing units sooner rather than later. In the meantime, now that the enemy main army is engaged, we are going to pop the Curse of the Midnight Wind on them, and then loop our Questing Knights and Knights of the Realm around to hit them in the back line, while another unit of Knights of the Realm and just tries to annoy the enemy as best we can. Our 4th Knights of the Realm, the badly hurt ones from previous battle, the ones that haven't recovered, are just going to sit back here and apply themselves as needed, where they'll be safe enough essentially to survive. And there we go, crush the enemy between the Knight Hammer and the Peasant Anvil. And those ghouls, at the very least, are in a pretty darn bad position. Looks like the enemy Corpse Cart with Balefire has also foolishly moved forward, and this is where we send the Knights to directly attack it, together with Adelard, who has landed as well. And we'll want to get this damn Corpse Cart out of the way as soon as possible. The other peasants are going to hold the line against all of the piles of enemy Graveguard. Of course, they will lose a battle of attrition, but we're focusing on the elites, like the Corpse Cart and the Monstrous Infantry for now. Over in the background, it looks like Henri has pretty much cleared the field of the enemy Blood Knights, who are down to a couple units. And every hit from his Hippogriff or his, well, I guess not really his sword because he doesn't use it when mounted, but, well, every hit still brings a Blood Knight or two down. And there's the last one. Fantastic. Another one of the elite units cleared out. Of course, Henry did get hurt this time around, but still nothing too major. We got a lot of use out of our mounted yeomen this time around. I certainly wasn't expecting them to be the stars of the show in really any battles for Bretonnia, but they certainly brought their A game today. And I'm certainly not one to underestimate Skirmisher Cav, especially the annoyance they can bring and the way that they can distract AI units. I certainly use them a lot, and I mean a lot, during my Zatan campaign. It's just that the mounted yeomen do seem, generally speaking, worse. But anyway, I digress. The Defenders of the Realm and the various peasants continue to fight. Adelard is in the middle of the fray after having defeated the enemy vampire, who also lost her head. It'd be funny if the, just like zombies who can fight without their heads or limbs or whatever, the vampire head just start like biting people's ankles. Alright, Krell's still in the middle of this, and here comes another charge from our knights into the back of the enemy. Gotta try to cause those morale shocks in order to try to get more of the enemy units to melt away. Looks like we're doing pretty good, however. The trebuchets continue doing damage, and this is a unit that hasn't been touched by anything but the trebuchets, so good job to that. Good job to these guys in particular. 96 kills and 16k damage. Certainly respectable. It's not like it's a fire rain rocket or anything like that. And now we are trying to hunt Kemler down as well, who's down to about half HP without Krell to guard him. Adelard and Henri will try to chase him down, but it looks like Kemler doesn't want a direct contest and he'll simply run away, and we'll have to chase him down. Watching the units run after each other, not particularly interesting, so we're just going to get back to watching the fight. Might have watched this if I could play Yakety Sax, but they don't let you. Oh, and there's another White King in the middle of all this. We did send in our Prophetess, or rather our Damsel, to help out against the White King, mostly just to try to get a few hits in there and apply the armor sundering effect that she has from her current Executioner axe. And there we go, it looks like the White King stands alone now, being poked at with spears and with halberds from every side. And now his armor is sundered as well. So that should mean the peasants will be able to do at least some damage. Krell continues to fight, but it looks like Kemler is just about done, and we are still having a little bit of a tough time in dealing with some of the enemy ghostly units, but that's okay. It doesn't seem to be as bad this time around. And here what we did, or ended up doing, was essentially enveloping the pile of Cairn Wraiths in one little blob so that we could hit them with that Urnon's Thunderbolt. and do very nice damage to them as they begin to all melt away. Kemler is done for. Henri has returned to about full HP, and the White King has dropped beneath Adelard's mount's hooves, and only Krell remains. And of course, just like the battle with Louen, he is last on the field and he will melt away rather than needing to be defeated as per the plan. There we go. Close victory. You gotta love fighting the undead where we can because we don't have to give chase to them. Gotta love Krell though. Great model. Anyway, yeah, close victory, but hey, we managed to pull it off, and I don't think any of our units got destroyed, which is always nice to see for these peasant units. Well, nice to see in the sense that I wasn't expecting it. Let's see what the actual damage was. Alrighty, I gotta say that went a lot better than I was originally expecting it to. Certainly was not a valiant defeat as the Outer Resolve predicted. We were able to do too much damage to the enemy just by virtue of the fact that a lot of their army was made up of aerial units, and thus between our mounted yeoman archers annoying them and Henri and Adelard knocking them out of the sky, and I'll say, third of the enemy army was destroyed without us even being, well, without the rest of our army actually engaging them, which worked out pretty well. Plus, the Black Coach was destroyed by the mounted yeoman without doing anything at all, 9 damage dealt total, and Black Coaches are a lot scarier in SFO, and they're usable in vanilla now as well, so yeah, and quite good compared to Total Warhammer 1 on Black Coaches. Black Coaches are now scary. The most damage came out of the Cairn Wraiths, which is not surprising, and the Crypt Horrors, which is not surprising as well. A little bit less on the Blood Knights, unfortunately for the enemy, as Henri was able to knock them down with the help of those yeomen. Anyway, with that, Kemler ends, and we will not need Louen to do it for us. Good job, Adelard, and even got a Hippogriff as his reward for the fight. Fantastic. Plus the magic resistance on his army, and a vow completed as well. Good job, buddy. You earned that one, let's agree. Wait, Henri, you are going to get a new vow. Oh, that was your last vow. It's now completed, and now you have permanent magic attacks, which means we no longer need the Sword of the Ladies Champion on you because you have magic attacks regardless, and we can give you back the Silver Lance of the Blessed, at least for now. Not sure if we're going to give him something else instead, but this works as well. I also don't know whether we're going to keep the Pigeon Plucker pendant on him, because it's relatively unlikely. Well, then again, if we continue to fight the dead, we may need some anti-air. But this particular army, because Henri will join Louen, we might need to give the anti-air to another paladin like this guy. But anyway, Louen, speaking of, you are no longer needed here, which means you're heading on out and starting to move towards Sylvania. We'll ferry your new troops to you when we actually have them on the field. Let's do a little bit of admin now, as we do have other battles to play, but we want to break them up a little bit. Oppressors obviously don't need to move. Alberic. Now the question, what to do with the EU? What do we do with you? Well, either way, we're not going to attack anything until we have these field trebs, so you can just sit here and spend another turn getting that captain's cabin up and running. I might actually just straight up declare war on the Hunts Marshal's expedition. I wasn't intending to, but A, they're weak, and B, it's unlikely that we'll get anything good from them. The AI seems to do fairly poorly with them pretty much at all times and doesn't seem to build elite units. Speaking of elite units, how's the gunsmith here? Oh, there is no gunsmith here. Oh, there it is. But it's at tier 3. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait until we get the good artillery to make our peasants a little bit more viable, or our peasant armies a little bit more viable. And I'll try Cathay as well for those fire rain rockets. Anyway, you, Tech Thief, go for Gorgazan, mostly because I want you to move and just stay away from Scarbrand. And failure, but at least that wasn't a critical failure, even if this means the next turn we'll lose this. We'll need more tech thieves, but for that we also need additional capacity. Masson Le Chasseur, you are going to join not Rapunzel's army, but the Fey Enchantress's army, who's fairly far away, so you'll do that in a bit. Alrighty, let's do building now, shall we? Alberic is... yeah, wait, he's staying still. He's built his building. Coast of Araby. Kofur. We'll start with you right there. You already have the Kofur Harbor. Let's go for the Spice Market, and then we'll... I guess we'll want to build defenses. What do we have defense? 2 questing knights from the garrison. I mean, it'll be an okay garrison. I'll think about it. Once Scarbrand is wiped out, if Scarbrand is wiped out, I should say, we hopefully won't need to defend over there. Rifrafa and Lucchini, we're definitely going to need to upgrade you to get defenses before Scarbrand comes around. Let's upgrade the water wheel and whatever else we have here at Tilea, and we'll upgrade you afterwards as well. Northern Grey Mountains, yes, well, no longer do we need the tall walls here, as this place will never get attacked again, hopefully. City Watch, no longer needed here either, and Ziflin. Well, at least we regained our Daz. That's nice. Maybe we'll double-check diplomacy for potential trade agreements. Blackstone Post. What do we want to build here in terms of capacity and stuff? Well, the obvious ones are the windmill and the fields. I did want to get more Grail Chapel and stuff. Well, I suppose we could get one instead of the tall walls. Let's get the growth for now, and we'll swap you into, I guess, Realm of Chivalry as well. Probably could have reduced the cost of these. You know what? Actually, they're not all that much, so it's fine. Estalia, you're still growing, and growing nicely, I should say. Let's upgrade you, and Tobaro should maybe be upgraded next turn. 414 growth. Very, very nice after all. And I swear I was saving growth somewhere, but I no longer remember where it was, which is kind of an issue. Skavenblight obviously get the tap room. I don't know who'd come to Skavenblight just for a tap room, but, you know. Was it this? Al-Haik? Ah, yes, Al-Haik. I was saving you. Rather than upgrading Kofur, we're better off upgrading Al-Haik itself. I'm glad I remembered that, considering it's been a day, and my memory usually ain't that good. For Bergbray, we'll leave you alone, and Bloodhall. I'm still not 100% sure we're going to keep you, but, well, might as well upgrade you. It's not like we don't have the cash. Alrighty. Was there anything else that we wanted to spend our cash on, potentially? First of all, trade. We do have trade. Kemler is still unavailable, though, and that's the one I wanted, so we're going to keep ignoring you for now. Exiles of Nehek are fighting a bunch of our allies, so we will not be non-aggressing with them. That's for sure, and I don't know if their Karazakarek will live. We'll give them stuff if they live. Perhaps. I gave you the student and I gave the other guy a student just to double check, right? Yes, okay, good. I'm very concerned about those because, well, obviously we need more research rate, at least to get these down to 1 turn, or we'll never finish all of those techs. Okay, well, time to fight again. Let's see. I think one of these could probably be done manually, and then one can be done cinematically. Lashik. I would say you can be done manually. Let's put you into channeling stance, despite the vigor loss. And then again, you're not going to cast. Response, you don't need any stances. Yeah, let's do this one manually real quick. And wait.
My magic is yours.
I was hoping we could catch up to King Pashedu here, but whatever. To the Sheik we go. Fight this one manually, the second one will fight cinematically. Yes. Alright, I'm going to try to quick play my way through this particular battle, as I don't think the enemy stands much of a chance. But I've been wrong before, and I probably should have leveled everybody up, but whatever. Clearly not going to take this particular battle too seriously. We will want to wait our reinforcements, or await our reinforcements. Oh, the enemy's got its... I wonder if it's a cavalry king. Alright, you two, go here. Try to go after the enemy lord. And then we'll back you all away and try to hit the enemy from multiple sides again. Like say so. They're probably gonna hit us with a Tomb Swarm, but that's hardly unexpected. And then you. Like so, you guys can by and large guard the, yeah, I don't like the way that worked out. Guard the flanks from the enemy monstrous infantry. Also gotta double check that the enemy already can't hit us. No, they can't, we're fine. Alright, and we'll do this. Like so, roughly. And, well, actually I was gonna do that anyway, so let's do that. It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to get them out of the potential tomb swarms, and I believe we're good. So start deployment to you. Okay, I forgot about you. You stay right here. Start deployment, start battle, speed it up, and oh, forgot about the free units. Ah, there's the tomb swarm. That's what I get for speeding up. I speeded up for a few seconds, and that's when the tomb swarm hits us. Well, too late now. I wonder if these guys are gonna try to bail out their lord here. Guess we'll find out. You guys stay in the center and speed it back up to max. I'll probably hit us with another tomb swarm, but at least they only have 2. Alright, these guys are nowhere near, so let's move you here. That was 20 seconds, and we got 20 seconds and 18 seconds. Nearly there. Alright, don't let this guy... Catch him. What's he on? He's on a chariot. Okay, hopefully we can just distract him. Use your Sword of Leoness immediately. And bring him down. We got reinforcements on the field. You guys can all be group 2. Alright, here, and then new army. Alright, get you all ready. Piles of peasants, and, well, it's all piles of peasants, these armies, so, yeah. Alright, I'll speed it back up to max in a few seconds. Just want to position everybody. Like so. Take all of you extra units, and where did I... Okay, I sent these all too close. Oh, wow, you guys have already nearly killed the enemy lord. Damn, good job. Are some of our army units not moving? I guess we'll find out after we kill off the lord, Rapunzel, or Paladin. Who's gonna get the last hit? And, oh, I remember remarking that the barding and the armor of the Paladin matched Rapunzel last time, but now it doesn't, which means that it loads a different barding every single time, which is kind of a bizarre choice. I wonder why they made it, like that. I guess it's extra data that you don't have to store, but, well, you can't keep a theme for a Paladin. That's a shame. Either way, you guys are all going to move up here. You guys are all going to go in the center. We're going to speed it up to max. Rapunzel and Paladins get you behind the enemy, where we can hopefully run them down shortly. And going to speed it up until our army moves into its appropriate location. You know what? You guys just start moving forward. Wait for the enemy to react slightly. Alright, then you guys can be a group 4. And man, it feels so weird to play at normal speed after super fast speed. Alrighty, there we go. And let them do their thing. We probably won't have to control it all that much anyway. Alright, there's those Screaming Skull Catapults, but those are on units that we don't have to deal with. Rapunzel and Co. Charge the Ushepti with Great Bow. Alright, charge right through this, and go for those Ushepti. Alright, distraction accomplished. I guess we also want to distract the Screaming Skull Catapults. Do we have any kind of spells that would work on them? Not really. Nothing that would kill them at any rate. And, are you guys going after the prophetesses? Yeah, well, we'll let them do so, I guess. Prophetesses just to bypass all of this and give a nice heal to the Paladins and Co. Or Rapunzel and the Paladin. Alright, everybody else come on now. Get on in there. In fact, let's reposition you slightly like so. Alright. You guys ready to charge? Yes, go for the Screaming Skull Catapults now. Need to heal anybody or do anything with you? Probably not. Alright, and let's pop a... be on you. There we go. Alright, don't get bogged down fighting the Hekar warriors, because they will actually kill you, regardless of the fact that you have a mount. And, damn, the Ushepti with Great Bow are getting away. All of you charge it. Let's also disable group move on you, so that we can deal with those guys. And, alright, don't fight the Tomb Lord or Tomb Prince or whatever that is. Most definitely don't. And as soon as the enemy, well, I was about to say as soon as the enemy approaches, we'll pop it, but pop it just now. The melee defense thing. Alright, you are having trouble getting the heck out of there. Let's heal you. And then let's, that looks like you're fine now. Alright, charge. And response, pop your Halo. Paladin, buff yourself up, and I guess we can just watch the rest of this. I just want to make sure that the damsels / prophetesses get away. Alright, there we are. Now all the enemies are engaged, surrounded by thousands upon thousands of peasants from every direction. We've essentially flooded the coast of Araby with peasants, as both of the armies here are very peasant-centric, which is kind of entertaining. There we go. Honestly, sometimes playing Bretonnia kind of reminds me of playing the Vampire Counts, which I really appreciate, because the Vampire Counts also have a great cav. I've said it many a time, and that the Hex Rates are my favorite units in the game, and the and Blood Knights are pretty up there as well. They've got very solid cav, plus very strong heroes in the form of the vampires, whereas these guys have very strong heroes in the form of paladins, and then zombies and skeletons, peasant mobs, and men-at-arms. It's all the same thing. Alrighty, well, knock the rest of them out. I hope nobody's dying here, because I haven't been looking at them. Let's heal up Rapunz a little bit. Really the only one we kind of care about. And I should probably stop the archers from archering, because they're killing off our own units. Alright, who's still up here? Oh, the enemy lord's still up. Oh, I guess, you know what? Giant mob of peasants. Go and attack those. Once again, I'm not taking this battle seriously, so, poor peasant mob, you can get wrecked. So I'm just not gonna bother controlling them, or continue to not bother controlling them, I suppose. Look at all those arrows. Killing so many peasants to slightly damage one Ushabti. Just the way it should be. And how's Rapunz down here? Still swinging away with her great sword, and taking plenty of arrows herself. Well, it's okay. We've got plenty of zombies, I mean, peasants in tow. Some of them will soon be zombies, I'm sure. Alright, down go the Ushabti, a few more. How's the HP? Ooh, the Beast Slayer's the best stun. Certainly got a little bit beat up, but we have no more heals for them. And it looks like the rest of the enemy will melt away, and the battle will be ours. And in fact, we'll send the Pal Aladdin to go and kill the enemy lord. And look at that, one of our peasant mobs is routing. Alright, you, buff yourself up, and okay, I should now really stop these guys from firing. It's gonna get to the point where we're taking way too much damage. Okay, guys, I'll go over there. Rapunz, you want to deal with this, please? Alright, we should probably send the peasants out of here as well, because they're just gonna get more damage. There we go, Rapunz is in. Ooh, oh, that was a nice blow, the way he got knocked back and lost his head. I do really wish that they made it so that the battle always ends like 3 seconds after the last enemy unit dies, just because there's some awesome finishing blows like this that you always want to see, or at least give you the ability to hide the decisive victory screen, because this would be a great screenshot with the paladin and the Tomb King in their current positions. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's fight another battle, a proper battle, a more difficult battle with the Fey Enchantress, as she has the garrison plus a defending force, and of course no reinforcing army. Alright, come on now. Alright, so these couple of episodes are certainly gonna take, well, a lot of turns. Savior. Oh, damn. Alright, I gotta remember to get Savior on Rapunz. Another Luckstone and Rapunz have now completed. I thought yours were all complete. Well, they are all complete now, but I thought they had been. Anyway, what I was saying was... okay, wait, can you go into channeling? And, oh, wait, actually, go up to C. You won't get damaged out there. Oh, but will you get... No, you won't get attacked by anything.
Making my way.
Alright, there we go. They won't heal up either, but it's fine. I'll take it. And now I've definitely forgot what I was saying, so it doesn't matter. Let's continue. Regrowth for you. We're trying to get towards the Greater Arcane Conduit for the Fey Enchantress, and then Raymond Delaunay. You're trying to get to My Vow, so let's go through Share the Feed. We'll go through Holy Light, and then My Vow. Fantastic. Doesn't affect him himself, but it'll buff up all the peasants around him, which is kind of what this army is about. And we'll use my son Le Chasseur as the assassin in this particular army, because is Le Chasseur the hunter? Either way. Alright, Pyrrhic victory this time, and should be more concerning. Here we go, let's have some fun. Alrighty, here we go again, and this time I imagine it'll take a little bit more effort than the last. Should be a pretty interesting fight. Once again, our peasant mobs, our pilgrims, and our knights errant stand ready, though of course the knights errant are only in here until they're replaced by those Grail Knights and Guardians, which of course the Fey Enchantress does buff up. We have deployed our army over in this corner essentially of the map. Well, not really a corner, actually, it's the middle of the map effectively, but there is a protective cliffside to nearly one side of us and to the back as well. And the edge of the map is actually all the way back there, but anyway, we're going to start off with a little bit of an artillery duel as our trebuchets target the enemy Screaming Skull catapult. Fortunately, it does seem that the trebuchets do outrange the catapults, which does make sense, and it looks like we'll be able to heavily damage these things before they get a shot off. Alright, it's loading up a skull by the looks of it, and there it goes, but I imagine that this will only hit a peasant. Now it's going to hit the Defenders of the Realm, which I guess doesn't really matter that much either, considering it's a summoned unit, but nonetheless. How much damage did that do? Not too bad for a single hit, and 5 models destroyed. Kind of unexpected that that many models were destroyed by that. How much armor piercing do you do? Oh, it's mostly armor piercing on you. Oh, interesting, I see. So compared to the regular Peasant Space program, fantastic name, compared to the trebuchets damage, they're mostly non-armor piercing damage, which is one of the differences between the regular trebuchets and the blessed trebuchets, which do armor piercing instead. But anyway, now that the enemy artillery is just about gone, getting one more hit not in there as it and does whiff that one, and nope, misses them both. Fantastic. And it looks like the enemy artillery is done for, which means we can actually switch the trebuchets to targeting enemy units instead. And that's a nice hit into those skeleton archers, and finally, we're getting a little bit of dominance from units that aren't knights in this particular episode. The yeomen in the last battle, and frankly, the trebuchets did quite well in the last battle as well, and the trebuchets in this one. Alrighty. Been waiting for it rather than just fully relying on the knights to do their work. Speaking of the knights, looks like we've pinned a unit of Nehekara horsemen against the edge of the plateau over on one side. The Fey Enchantress has led another 2 units of knights to fight against enemy skeleton horsemen, skeleton horse archers to be specific, as well as some fellbats, but of course they have no chance in this particular engagement. The rest of the army marches forward, and it looks like they're going to send their dire doggos as the vanguard to start fighting our peasant mobs. 'Tis shovels versus claws and teeth here, but these are shovels backed by 47 melee attack due to the buffs on these peasants, which ain't too bad. I'm sure they can kill off a few doggos. They will, well, just as many or probably way more peasants will die, but that's a sacrifice we are always willing to make. And there we go, more of those skeleton horses charging in, but the peasants take the charge, and once the peasants have absorbed the charge bonus of the enemy, we charge our own knights through our own battle lines. More enemies are approaching, and the Knights of the Realm, not Knights of the Realm, they just look like them, the Defenders of the Realm are going to be holding off the enemy Nehekara warriors together with a Tomb King. And we'll let them just get into it for a little while we continue working in the background. We can see those trebuchet shots landing amongst the enemy range and melee units. These two, for example, have been essentially kept away from approaching the main line by trebuchet fire, which is obviously another great use for artillery, generally speaking. Looks like this unit of Nehekara horsemen is still alive and managed to engage or re-engage in that unit of knights errant, but I'm sure they'll be fine and we'll destroy them in time. Alrighty, peasant mobs charging forward. And of course we'll follow them up with those battle pilgrims to actually dish out the damage. And the peasant mobs are free to rout, they're just here to absorb charges and stuff. Alright, more battle pilgrims on the way, going to get well and truly engaged rather than be behind those peasant mobs. And against these skeleton warriors and spears, I do imagine the battle pilgrims should come out ahead. They have twice the melee attack, but less melee defense, so there's certainly a difference, but I do imagine, once again, that the spears in particular will lose pretty handily to battle pilgrims, especially buffed as they are. Alrighty, not so for the Tomb Guard. I would expect a unit of Tomb Guard to win against a unit of Battle Pilgrims, though, even with the support of the Grail Relic, so we will have to be careful. We have... oh, did it activate its abilities if the glow is? No, it just always glows, I guess. Ooh, and here comes some Ushabti to join the fray as well. That's going to make it even more tough for both of the peasants and the pilgrims. Well, I guess they're all peasants, but the mobs and the pilgrims alike to work. On the bright side, though, the enemy piles of range units have been by and large destroyed, and their cavalry has been by and large destroyed by our knights in the background. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units are melting away, and a 7th is about to follow suit. And of course, once the knights are done with them in the back line, they'll be able to join the main fight. The Fey Enchantress is fighting here together with the other knights and the wardens of La Maison Tal, who once again do have a pretty nice model. I like the bright yellow and green that they have. Once again, camouflage is the color of fear, and I think Bretonnia is certainly living up to that concept. Alrighty, and the Fey Enchantress is in here somewhere, or she was. There she is. I saw a glow of magical damage fighting off some crypt ghouls, with the Knights of the Realm still around her, and of course keeping casting and healing everybody up, and applying her fairly decent debuffs to everybody around. Alright, armor, sunring, and I think she does something else by virtue of her presence. But anyway, looks like the crypt ghouls are out. The knights in the back line are pretty much done with their work and should be ready to contribute to the main melee. The enemy lord is also in pretty bad shape, surrounded as he is by the unwashed masses and the defenders of the realm here, with the paladin who was attacking him here as well, but who has now been a little bit bogged down by the rest of the enemy. Fortunately, we can clear the bog of skeletons by charging them in the back. The third Realm of Souls is still active, but I think not for much longer. We're going to charge the Ushabti as well, pop a Shield of Thorns, and I think the battle is just about ours. 90% in favor, and in terms of the damage that we've taken, by the looks of it, our army is looking pretty darn okay. I think all of the damage is primarily on this one unit of Knights Errant that was fighting the horses, and then the peasant mobs, who are always going to be damaged, no matter what we do, so, and that's never going to change. There we go, once again crushing the enemy between the hammer and anvil. I see most of the enemy units are beginning to dissipate even as the heal continues. And it looks like the battle is ours. A few more hits from the enemy Ushabti, who continue to mince the peasant mobs below them, together with the remnants of the Tomb Guard. Grail Relic is in here as well. I like a little horse. Huh, I wonder if that's the genuine skeleton of the Horse of the Night as well. I would imagine so. Alright, nothing much else to say. The last of the Ushabti just need to melt away, and the battle will be completely ours. One down, and a couple more to go. And there we are. Once again, I wish I could see them topple, but it's okay. And gotta love these desert battles. They always make for some great shots, and hey, we got a heroic victory. On top of all that, probably due to the lack of damage we took, but let's see what the actual damage was. Alright, a heroic victory. Very, very nice, I gotta say. I feel like our peasant armies are starting to come into their own as... Well, that went better than expected, and we even got 69 kills and 13k damage. First of all, nice, but second of all, on the Worker Revolution. Peasants, 51 and near 10k on the unwashed masses. Sadly, the hungry peasants were too busy foraging for food to dish out as much damage, although they did get nearly 10k as well. They were probably one of the ones dealing with a monstrous infantry unit, hence the lower kill counts. Still, very nice, and the trebuchets certainly cleaned up. 27k damage apiece, and they're not even blessed, and pretty okay damage from the Knights Errant, though it's a little bit embarrassing how the Knights Errant have a difficult time. This was the one unit that was fighting the enemy skeleton horsemen, or was it, I think it was Nehekara horsemen, and Nehekara horsemen are pretty weak, so the fact that a heavily armored knight, well, reasonably heavily armored knight, 80 armor on the Knights Errant, struggles so much against them is a little bit, but we can essentially consider the Knights Errant to be light cavalry, because they're not true knights. Anyway, occupy. And good attacker for you, Fey Enchantress, and you did not have the blessing of the lady? The Fey Enchantress did not have the blessing of the lady? That seems unlikely to me, but okay. Let's see. You can... Okay, wait, no, it's pointless to get Lionhearted. We actually have no direct buffs for a lot of our units, and we do want to get Worshippers of the Grail for further buffs towards those Battle Pilgrims. And, I guess the question will be whether we want to get Lowborn Militia, or spend points in Lowborn Militia just for the peasant mobs. And I feel like we're not gonna. And the Fey Enchantress is really hungry for points. Whether fortunately or unfortunately. Anyway, we should max out regrowth in the Dwellers below, so let's do that. And then into Greater Arcane Conduit. You, sir, have your My Vow. Let's get your Holy Light as well for the additional leadership for the, well, peasant mob, since it's useful on the various... units of Battle Pilgrims, Militant Pilgrim Union, La Framboise, First Royal Pilgrims, and the Holy Wardens. And we'll get one more in here afterwards. And got a lot more names for these guys as well. I may have to put some Battle Pilgrims in another army. Anyway, let's see if there's anything else to be done this turn, but I don't believe there is, which means we should be ready to end said turn. We certainly don't have time for another battle. And, okay, yeah, no, we're not building Kofor. Almost got myself again. Lashik. Ah, wait, we can do this and get growth going at Sorcerer's Islands and Lashik. And, you know what? I was about to say, I'm going to finally upgrade Fort Bird Bray, but then I realized that I lied. I'm going to go to Outposts and upgrade the important ones. Reichland, probably the High Elves. Oh, we won't be able to afford all of them anyway. And we never built one with Lorelorn. We should do that. And we never built one with Kemler. We should do that. In Kemler itself. I mean, where else? And we have 6.5k remaining. Well, you know what? I'm gonna not build any more right now, because who knows? Who knows? We need the money. Or we may need the money, because we got a lot of stuff that we will soon hopefully upgrade. End turn now. Let's see if anything interesting happens. I'm really hoping Kemler doesn't besiege the Wizard Caliph's palace, because that would be unfortunate. Yuan Bo wants a trade agreement, but at the current time, at least, I think we do not. At least not with him. Once again, I'd rather save it for Kemler potentially and or somebody else, and we may or may not get into a fight with YEOMEN though. The annoying thing about that is I actually would really like a few Cathian units, but it may be difficult to acquire them. Income from farms plus 5% for the Oppressor. Oh, nice. The Oppressor gets better at oppressing. You gotta appreciate it. And you just got a unicorn mount. Who are you? Oh, you're Alberic's mage. Okay, that's fine. And that is fine. King Senna. I guess Arcan got wounded a while ago, and he still kind of likes us. It makes me feel bad, but yeah. Well, he does have lots of stuff in his. Where you going, Scarbrand? Al-Haik might be able to defend itself, depending on what's actually in this army. Damn, I was gonna try to block your army. How far can he go from here? It'll take him 2 turns to reach one of these places, 64, and so they're both 64, doesn't matter, do this, and hey, success, there we go. And I think you leveled up off of that, yes? No. You lied to me, game. Alrighty. What's the best way to do this? And we're gonna suffer attrition here. Wait, no, we wouldn't suffer attrition in enemy territory, so we're actually free to go to enemy territory because we have the errantry buff. Wait, actually, the Fey Enchantress can immediately reach this place. A response, you cannot. Damn. Well, that's a shame.
Of course.
The Fey Enchantress wouldn't be able to handle this on her own. That's way too many Necropolis Knights for her army. At least at the current time. Alright, fine. We'll pop you into whatever stance right here in the Wizard Calip's Palace territory, where we won't suffer attrition due to our current immunity to it. And then we'll pop you into channeling, and this will also allow my son Le Chasseur to possibly close and get us into a battle. We'll move Rapunzel down here. Can we handle this without Rapunzel, I guess is the question. 2 Tomb Scorpions and all those Necropolis Knights, unlikely. So here's what we'll do. Rapunzel, you're gonna go right beside the Fey Enchantress. We're gonna hit them next turn, but we're gonna send Marie Le Chasseur back this way to garrison whatever territory we need to. Oh, hopefully he doesn't bypass all this and go for Kofor.
You honor me.
Maybe build some temp stuff here as well. And just for the defense. 3,000 gold to recruit a knight. That's not gonna happen, game. Nice try, though. Man, even though, you know what? Build a bunch of peasant mobs. Just to throw them into the fray, and to activate towers if we defend. Deline, you are actually going to follow these two, who are both in channeling, or who both should be in channeling. Man, really having trouble with mana.
I have seen your heart.
And you can channel as well, though you actually don't need to. Alright, and we've got, what, clay pit here, farm there. This should also be a decent money-making territory, so we'll have to keep an eye on making it properly so. Alright, what else do we have this turn? Louen, let's get you moving once more, buddy. You've got a date with Vlad, who I don't see anymore. He was on the map before. I wonder where his newly spawned armies went. Oh, probably up here. I don't think Kappelberg was their territory previously. Well, either way, you're going this way, Louen. Away you go. And then Adelard. Now, what do we do with you at the current time? Do we keep you here? Oh, well, for one thing, Henri, you're going to go and join Louen, so that won't change. And, oh. But we need to make room in Lewin's army. You know what? Trying to do a count here. What's the best way to do this?
What is your behead?
We need somebody to take one of his units. You know what? Here's what we'll do. Adelard, I'm going to take 1 unit. One additional unit for you. One non-peasant unit, in fact. We're going to take the Knights of the Azure Sky because I want Adelard to have a sort of personal guard unit. I mean, we could also do Grail Guardians if we wanted to and pop the Knights of the Azure Sky into the aerial army. I'm not sure. But at least this way, we can have Henri join Louen, and then we'll move the other knights out there once he has other elites. Alrighty, Avril Mercier. Yes, you need to continue recruiting. Let's move you briefly. No, actually, no, you're fine. Is where you are, right? Yeah, we'll want to return to Longyi to build a bunch of foot squires after. So let's build a couple more of these. 9. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How much would have they? Oh, they actually don't cost that much from global recruitment. Huh. Alright, you know what? I changed my mind. We can go to Longyi with you. And is that Valkia? No. Gotta keep an eye on Valkia. We'll do global recruitment for these two. Ooh, wait. Oh, it got more expensive because it's not a Castle Artois anymore. Alright, fine. Either way, I want foot squires in pretty decent numbers. Let's say 6 for now, and then we'll see if we have money remaining for them. And damn, we're down to 5.5k per turn. Okay, we need to focus on econ, or it's gonna get dicey. Yasmina, you are going to transfer all of this stuff to the Fey Enchantress. So South you go. Oh, maybe you can contribute to the defense with Scarby. Alberic, you built your other thing, and do we just attack these guys? The Hunts Marshal's expedition. I don't seem to have a full stack here. Itza doesn't like them very much, which kind of helps. Generally speaking, it's not so much that I want to destroy them, it's just that it bothers me that they hold volatile. You can have those who escaped. Potion of Toughness for free. Press Ganged I don't really care about. At least not in this army. And alright, yeah, all these little armies are one of the reasons why we are suffering so much in the way of our money making right now. Anyway, Marovec, go this way. You're close to being able to transfer your stuff, and hopefully there isn't like a rogue army right here. There's another mysterious island on the way, though. That'll be nice. And, oh, our materials at sea is gone, which is, okay, yeah, that explains it. We'll need to send more units out to the sea. In fact, if anything, Elbrick should be out at sea. Anyway, let's keep doing what we were doing. Kofor, we will continue ignoring you. Baston, let's build the coaching in here and now. With those material at sea reductions gone, it's not going to be nearly as nice as it was. What can we build at Baston? I am tempted to get the Chapel of the Lady for additional income from all buildings. And then here we'll probably want a capacity building, so a Grail Shrine. Something along those lines. If we need to adjust, we'll adjust. Gisoro. You are missing a Chapel of the Lady or a Shrine of the Lady, and thus we'll build one here because you're surrounded by a lot of territory. Forest of Chalon. Yes, we can build... damn, the Peaks of Paravon just as the... and just as the buff is gone. But oh well. What can you do? What was the other thing that we wanted to build here? Probably... oh, we have the main knight building. Oh, we lack a windmill, which we may want to build. Even though we do want capacity. On the other hand, wait, does this reduce Grail Knight? And yeah, it also reduces oh. Never mind, we need the smithy here. Because this is our military problems, or at least one of them. I may actually delete the farms here once the growth has been good for a while. And we may want to skip this. At least for a few turns while we do economy stuff. This is occasionally necessary. And then we could do Shrine of the Lady. We could now still go for the Grail Shrine here. Oh, we need it. And what do we have here? Montenas, another Chapel of the Lady. And do we go for defenses here? It's far enough away from the coastline and that it should in theory be okay. We could go additional growth through the Pox Shelter, plus 30. Do we care that much about growth in Bilbali, though? Or do we just go for more money via another money building? Or, considering this place will probably never make a lot of money, this may be a good capacity place. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Capacity, additional damsels out of the Grail Shrine. And yeah, that looks good to me. And we're out of money. Or at least more or less out of money. Alrighty. Well, I think with that we are basically out of time, and I'm gonna have to call the episode here. Adelard... Oh, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make room for the new paladin. Anyway, gonna call it here. Next time, we, depending on what you guys think, might start the episode off by having Alberic attack Walatal.
Your coming was for
Or we may actually, no, you know what, we'll wait a couple turns for that. Well, not a couple, but maybe at least one. Here's the thing, we want to get Therese Walden to Talantula, because it has no defenses, really. And now you have no foot units, but whatever. Actually, you have one. Yeah, we want to get Therese here, because if we get into a fight with these guys,
I know the way.
we'll want to be able to defend. Either here, well, Talashland's probably not going to fall. So we'll declare war on them if we decide to declare war on them next turn. And nobody else... Oh, I think we can actually end the turn. Wait a second. Unless I'm missing something, or I'm forgetting something, which I don't think I am. We should be able to end the turn. We'll send Adelard out to annoy Norska as well. Just double checking everything, but I think we're okay. So yeah, skip, and end the turn.
I have seen
Yeah, we're gonna have to send these somewhere as well. Do we have a free... well, free. Do we have a prophetess that has money? Magnanimous? No. Well, do we have somebody that was already summoned before? Yeah, alright. Let's say Baron Thegan. We'll go with you. And you can transport some of these units next turn, because you can't move right now. Alright, end turn. And just to see what'll happen, if anything interesting, Serena Catherine, you wish to have a military alliance. And if you survive, we'll certainly do that, but Archaon is coming. Ooh, he's got 2 armies here. Well, if nothing else, we can send Louen up here to also try to fight Archaon, once he's done being busy with the vampire counts. Anything else? Alright, no attacks. Alrighty, Drakenhof Conclave destroyed. Alright, so we don't have to deal with Manny, as Cetra has managed to finish him off at the cost of most of his army, mind you, but that's fine. Ah, Scarbrand went back to Stormhenge. That works out very nicely as well. We got the additional bonus control from our research. I forget what charity was the research, which is nice as well. Fantastic. Anyway, with that, I'm going to call it. Next time, Rapunzel and the Fey Enchantress together will hit the Wizard Caliph's Palace and destroy Archaon with a pretty good battle. By the looks of it, we may try to force them into a field battle, because that would probably be more interesting. And then we may or may not, I would say high chance of likely, attack Walatal just to complete this province here. Sorry to the Hunts Marshal's expedition, but it is what it is. And then we'll see whether we can hunt down anybody with Louen, as he should be able to quickly close the distance with some of Vlad's forces. Anyway, stay tuned for more Louen. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.